Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at some pitching for today, the 12th of July. It is Saturday. We do have an 11-game main slate and then a 4-game evening slate this evening over on DraftKings. This is a first look at the pitching options, and I am looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you play in FanDuel, I would cut my pool in half or so. Pricing isn't quite as tight. You don't have to be as creative. It allows you to get stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. Now, with all that said and done, not a lot weather-wise to worry about. Some winds, but nothing too insane. Cincinnati, probably from what I've read, overall might have the biggest worry weather-wise, but even then it's not too terrible. Good ballpark with wind blowing out, very interesting. So, with all that, let's just jump into the actual slate of games here. We'll start with the main 11-gamer. Cubs, Yankees. Tough to get there on the surface, but I do like Max Fried. I said it yesterday. Left-handed pitching against Chicago is probably the only place I really want to go when I'm dealing with the Cubs. At home, he's been phenomenal. Yankee Stadium. And he's obviously one of the best pitchers in baseball, so I don't mind going there. I don't think he has the same kind of K upside that Rodon showed last night, though. But still, Fried, somebody I'm going to utilize. Matthew Boyd, I might sneak in a little bit. Not excited about paying $9,100 for him against the Yankees, but on the road he's allowed just 3 home runs in nearly 51 innings. Pretty good numbers, so there is K upside. Probably going to sprinkle in some Boyd, but he's one of those guys that I could see myself removing from my pool just because we end up with some better options as we dig in deeper here. Next game, Seattle and Detroit. I believe we had some winds blowing in Detroit, which is going to help. I am interested in Casey Mize. Shut down Seattle the first time he faced them. Can certainly do it again here. He's been pretty strong at home. Key numbers aren't as strong, but still pretty good numbers when pitching at home. George Kirby, super volatile so far this season, but as soon as he gets settled in, which I think he's starting to, obviously, based on recent trends, he is one of the better starting pitchers, at least in the American League. Coming off of his second best start of the year, showcasing some upside. Obviously, it was against Pittsburgh. His best start was against the Angels. Not offenses that we worry about. Detroit does have a dangerous offense for sure, but still, I think Kirby has plenty of upside. I would rather take some shots with him than Matthew Boyd in the previous game. So, I mean, we're playing 3 or 4 pitchers out of the first 2 games, which eats up from our pool. So, getting on to the next one. This is one we can skip over pitching. Not going to use Burrows. I just don't think he has the kind of upside we're looking for. Here, wind blowing out, so it's not ideal. I know Minnesota's offense can struggle, but I just don't see myself getting to Burrows at 8K. Next one, Atlanta St. Louis. Another situation. Never using Fetty on an 11-game slate. I don't care. It is what it is. Negative in 3 straight starts. I'll pass. Nathan Wiles, at least right now, is projected as starting. I'm going to guess he either doesn't start or there's an opener long man situation. But still, I just don't see myself getting to Atlanta pitching. St. Louis just doesn't strike out enough, and obviously I'm not playing openers on an 11-game slate. Miami-Baltimore. One pitcher in this one for sure, and another one's been intriguing enough that I might have to consider him. Ultimately, or basically 20-plus fantasy points in 3 out of his last 4. Jansen Junks actually looked pretty decent overall. Doing a pretty good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. Just 1 home run allowed in 37 1/3 innings on the season. Hasn't been very good on the road, which is where he's at this evening, or today, I should say. Probably not going to get there, but he's at least somebody I want to consider or look at, a little bit more. But of the guys that I'm considering up to this point, he'd be at the bottom. So when all said and done, I'm going to guess that he probably ends up not in my pitcher pool. On the other side, Trevor Rogers taking on his former team has looked excellent in 2 out of his last 3 starts. Even that third one wasn't atrocious. Wasn't amazing by any means, but still. Not showcasing a ton of K upside, but still. It's been pretty strong, and we can obviously pick on the Marlins. His 1 start at home was phenomenal, so, I have no problem getting to him here. Probably going to be one of the more popular guys on the slate. See if I can get his K-prop here, because I'm intrigued by him enough. 4.5 with juice on the under. It's not overly exciting to look at, to be honest, which is a little frustrating. But it is what it is. I still like the matchup. I think he has upside for, 7, 8 strikeouts. So that might be a K ladder you want to look at, to be honest. Dodgers, Giants. Looking at Ohtani opening. Sheehan is a long man. I don't mind Sheehan. He's got some ability. But I just don't know if we're going to get there on an 11-game slate. I don't really need to worry about, him only going 2 to 3 innings as a long man, as Ohtani gets stretched out a little bit more. So I don't think we need to go there on the 11-gamer. Landon Raup, not going to go there, I don't believe. He was lit up by the Dodgers. 5 walks in an inning and 2/3. He has been best at home where he's at, but I'm just going to end up passing on Raup in this particular matchup. Cleveland and the White Sox, I will be using Tanner Bybee just because I believe in the talent. He's had what I'd call a pretty rough year so far. He still has shown upside into the 30s, which was against the Detroit with the best record in baseball. So it shows you what he's capable of doing. He is pitching on the road where he's been pretty bad so far, but I do think he figures out a way to turn it around here as the season progresses. He's actually a guy that I'm targeting a lot in mid-season best balls, kind of later in a draft, because I think he offers us a ton of upside. So he's somebody I have my eye on going forward, and I will be utilizing him today against the White Sox. K-prop of 5.5. Juice to the under, but still, it's a solid K-prop. Sean Burke. Now, we have been picking on Cleveland with some pitching recently. I just don't think I'm going to get there with Sean Burke. I'm just not sure he's going to have the upside that I want in this particular spot, but I could see some people talking about using him the way that Cleveland has struggled. I won't argue too much against it. I just personally don't know that he's going to have the upside for me on this slate. Tampa Bay, Washington, Crochet and Shane Baz. Crochet, K-prop is 7.5 is a pick'em. Baz 5.5, juice on the under, unfortunately, but I do think Baz is in play. He has plenty of upside. A 37 fantasy point performance against a team that doesn't strike out a lot in Kansas City. 27 points in a loss to the A's. His K numbers are up recently. He is at his best when pitching on the road where he's at this evening. His K numbers do take a hit, but still, his numbers do increase when on the road. So I'm intrigued by Baz and Garrett Crochet, somebody that I'm going to play. Last couple starts have been underwhelming. We thought we could get him to dominate against both teams, actually, and he didn't really dominate. K numbers are still there, so I am going to gladly play Crochet at this point. with all of his upside. Colorado, Cincinnati. Probably going to have to consider Brady Singer. Have to pay attention to some weather, etc. And the ballpark sucks for pitching. But Singer's been at his best when he's pitched in this ballpark this season. Not allowing many hits, but he is allowing some home runs, at least compared to the road. But still, it is the Rockies, and we gladly pick on the Rockies. Now, you can argue that Singer hasn't shown any upside, really. 22 fantasy points. His strongest start since the end of April. And he has just, 3 starts over 17, 18 fantasy points on the season. I get it. I think I am going to Singer, though. K-prop at 6.5 feels pretty elevated. Juice is on the under, but still, it's a 6.5 K-prop. And I'm just not using Blaylock in this spot. Milwaukee, Washington. Definitely not getting to Ogasawara against the Brewers. He looked horrible against Boston. Woodruff, definitely going to get to Woodruff, even though I'm not expecting a 30-plus in his second start. Extra day of rest for him, which is good to see. Threw 70 pitches. Might jump into the 80s, or they might take it a little easy with him. That would be the one worry, is we see him just throw 70 pitches again. He's done after 4 to 5 innings. But I like Woodruff. I like the way he looked in his return. So I will get there. K-prop is 6.5. Juice is on the under, but still 6.5 K-prop for a guy on a presumed pitch count. I do like it. They are expecting some strong performances there. Last game on the slate, the Mets and Royals. Not something I'm probably targeting. Lorenzen absolutely dominated Arizona his last time out, but I'm just not sure I'm going to get to him against the Mets. He is at his best in this ballpark, and this ballpark is great for pitching, but I don't really want to rely on him against the New York Mets. Frankie Montas, not really interested in against Kansas City and their lack of strikeouts. Let's switch over to this 4-gamer this evening quick. We get some names right away at the top that we're gonna love. Zach Wheeler, I'm gonna love him against anybody. I think he's just that good. San Diego's overall offense doesn't scare me all that much, so I will gladly use Wheeler. Probably gonna put him behind the DeGrom-Valdez combination. I know DeGrom looked pretty rough in his last start, but still managed to get to 22 fantasy points, so he did turn it on. He started out super slow, but he was elite against Houston the first time he faced them. I like the upside that he offers us. Taking a look at his K-prop, 6.5, Juice is on the under. 6.5 for Valdez as well. On the other side, somebody that I like this season was solid against Texas the first time. Nearly 26 fantasy points. Wasn't spectacular by any means, but he's been ridiculous at home. It's a pretty good spot. I like Valdez's upside, DeGrom as well. And then Wheeler falls in third. Gausman and Kikuchi both going to fall in after them. Gausman gets a great K matchup upside against the A's, but a super volatile one. As we see, he did struggle a bit against them the first time he faced them, even though he did strike out 7 in 4 2/3. He has been better when pitching away from home, but this ballpark is built for a AAA team, obviously, so there's offenses. And Kikuchi, plenty of upside with the Ks, etc. Taking on an Arizona team that I don't mind taking left-handed pitching against. He's been absolutely ridiculous when pitching at home, where he's at this evening. You could probably talk me into Zach Gallen. And even, really, you could talk me into every pitcher on this slate, but I think we do need to remove some guys, so I'll probably keep Yu Darvish out of it, and then maybe Lopez, but he has shown me enough where I might consider him. So there we have it. There's our first look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I'll put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. Make sure you check out our merch store as well, links below. And best of luck, everybody.